Hey, what's up, reefers? I'm Reefer Matt. I got a good video for you today. We're going to do an update on all the tanks. See how everybody's doing. As you can see, I got my FOWLR behind me. There's some of the boys right there. We'll check them out and check out all the other tanks. It's a little bit longer of a video, so I'll split it up, little chapters, so you can skip ahead if you want. But if you get the time, come back and check out the other ones too. Let's check out the 75-gallon SPS tank. There's my lights. Those are the Kessel A360X lights. What I want to put up here is one of those Reef Bright combination strips, you know, the hybrid, where it's got the Reef light, the Reef Bright strips, one on each side, and then it'll hold these lights in the middle, and it'll hang up from the ceiling. Eventually, that's what I'm going to go to, because you can see I'm getting a lot of shading because these corals are growing out. So that's the only thing that isn't so great about the Kessels, is they're kind of like a point source light, so you get a lot of shading with them. So I think I'm going to add some Reef Bright fixtures, or one Reef Bright fixture, and I'll put that there eventually. So moving on to the coral. Everything's not doing too bad in here. There's this green slimer. It's doing pretty good. And they're still duking it out over here. This Jedi Mind Trick Matsupora is losing the battle, but it's growing to new spots. See, it's kind of trying to grow over the Setosa here. The Leptocerus over there is beating it up there. And then the Pavona over here is just kind of beating it up all over there. So it's also trying to grow out this way and go over that other Matsupora digitata there. So I might have to do some fragging on that. I'm not sure. I'm not in a big hurry for it or anything, so I may leave it. I did happen to notice that I got some sponge growing in there. See inside that little white sponge? I got to take that out. I just wanted to show you that. If you see that in your tank, don't panic. Just take it out, because that smothers coral. It's not like venomous or anything like that, so you can just take it out with some tweezers and throw it in the garbage. Try to get as much as you can, because if you leave any in there, it'll probably grow back, which will probably happen with this, and I'll have to get it again a few times. Usually angelfish will eat that, but they made coral too, so I don't have any angels in here. This Pavona, this little one here, is growing out, so I got to frag that. That comes off of this. This thing just kind of pops off babies in different spots, and the same thing with the, well, sort of the same thing with the Serietopora, I think is what it is. In the back here, this bird's nest coral. I got to get that out of there because it's starting to crowd my Disney Acroporas here. So I want to get all that off of that rock and just get back to the Acroporas. And I also have a Pink Floyd way back there. Kind of see it there. And that's starting to get crowded out too a little bit. But that Pink Floyd and these Walt Disneys are super slow growers. This colony here is, I don't know, 2 to 3 years old. And I mean, it's starting to sprout up a little bit, but yeah, they're really slow growers. So I want to keep them. I mean, they're real nice. I like them. And then my poor Jason Fox solar flare, I'm still not getting the fuzzy polyps I should be seeing. This thing should look like a big furry mess here, but it's not. It used to look real nice, but it's still alive and everything. So I'm just still waiting on it to decide when it wants to get its polyps back out. But it's coloring up pretty good. It's got a lot of growth too. There's a lot of white tips on it. So it's definitely growing, but it's just not getting any polyp extension. So I'm just waiting on it. I checked my parameters and everything's good. So we'll just see what pops up with that. Oh, and also I noticed right here, that looks pretty cool there. That's Matsupora growing also, or not Matsupora, Acropora. That came from this Acropora right here. Because this used to be over there when it was sort of like a really, really small colony, like, I don't know, almost a little bit bigger than a frag. But I had it over here, and then it was growing too big, and it was starting to shade all these corals and stuff, so I took it out, put it in the frag tank, and then I noticed, oh, some of it must have encrusted on the rocks when I had it there. So now it's growing out. So that's kind of cool, and it's also different colors. It's got some like green polyps and stuff on it, so that's cool. Probably because it's in higher par right there than it is, you know, over here. It's probably a little lower par, but it's still a cool Acropora. I like it. And all these Acropora down here are doing good. they got their polyps out a little bit. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. It just like it basically came from one bigger acropora that I had back there, all those little nubs. There was a big one back there once upon a time, and I took it out, and a bunch of little pieces fell, and now they grew out to like that. And this one in front here is sort of a slow grower too. That's a 2-year-old colony, mini colony, I should say. That's an Indo one, so that's been there for 2 years now, and it's not a really fast grower either. Then the 24K Leptocerus is looking very bright and beautiful. And then I'm still getting all the sand on this poor Monty down here. I'm about giving up trying to blow that sand off. I blow it like every day I blow that sand off, so I'm about done doing that. And there's, you know, as coral break off, they just attach somewhere and then they just grow. So just like that. That was just a piece that fell off, you know, from up here, and it went down there and attached there. Same thing with this down here. So they just kind of break off and attach in different spots. But this corner is doing pretty good. This Monty cap here is nice and orange now. It's not pink like it used to be. And these corals up here are doing good. This Digi and this Pocillopora are doing real good. So things are doing pretty good in this tank, with the exception of my one acropora, but you know, I'm not too beat up about it. And I also noticed, look at this. That's a Hollywood Stunner Chalice. I had that in here 2 years ago, and same thing, a piece must have attached when I took it out, because I just put it in here temporarily because I didn't have a frag tank at the time. And now there's a colony growing, so I break off chunks of it and sell or give it away, and this thing just keeps growing. That's about the size, oh, I don't know, about the palm of my hand right there. So yeah, it just keeps growing. I keep breaking pieces off and it keeps growing. So I just keep it back there because it can sting other coral. But there's a little view down the side. If I can get you a clean spot on the glass. Yeah, things looking pretty cool. That's my favorite view of every tank. This acro's doing really cool too. I broke a little piece off this acro when I was cleaning the glass. But that's okay. It'll probably grow back better. So yeah, there's the 75-gallon SPS tank. So as I get the money to upgrade the lighting, I'll be doing that. And I'll see what happens with the one acropora, but everything's doing pretty good. All right, and here's the 135-gallon FOWLR. It started off as a predator tank, but I don't have an eel anymore, but it's sort of a predator tank. There's Feisty Fin in the middle, as you can see, behind the Unitas here, of course. So yeah, it looks a little better with the glass cleaned. Wait, what's that, Puffs?
I said it's a good thing you're doing a video today.
Really?
That way the glass will get clean.
Well, just remember who feeds you, buddy.
I mean, Reefer Matt is awesome.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Every day, and we're so lucky.
All right, thank you. Anywho, there's Leonidas, the big fish in the tank. See if he'll let me put my hand up next to him. You can see how big he is. He's huge. It's like a foot long. Feisty Fin, as I call him. Or her, don't know yet.
I know, but I'm not telling.
And the one that's cruising is Bandit. Kind of bright right there. There we go. He's quick, so it's hard to film him. Hard to record him. Brownie, bicolor foxface or Fiji foxface. And you've all heard Puffy earlier, a dog-faced puffer.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Puffy's cool. We're cool, right, Puffs?
It depends. You gonna feed me?
Yeah, we just jab at each other, don't we, Puff? Yeah, they're all doing good. All the flukes are gone, so I've just been doing some water changes. I got to vacuum the sand. As you can see, the sand's pretty filthy. But check out Finn. Finn just won't leave Brownie alone. The Brownie's got them spikes on him, so I'm not worried about it. He's got venomous fins on him just like a lionfish does, so I'm not worried at all about Finn annoying him like that. But as I was saying, yeah, I need to increase the flow in here too, because I get detritus settling and then it just makes the algae grow. But these guys are really good at cleaning the rocks, as you can see. Hardly any algae on the rocks. I mean, just like, you know, it's just colored. It's not really sticking out or anything. And the same with the back glass. So I'm not really too worried about it, but I'm gonna clean up the sand a little bit and increase some flow. Look at him, he's just like, hey man, that's my spot. But yeah, they're all doing good. Well, I call him Feisty Finn. If I can get my camera to focus. So yep, another water change or two, and I'll have the salinity back. I dropped the salinity down to 1.015 specific gravity because of the flukes, and I had that Praza Pro. I put the Praza Pro in the water too, and yeah, it took care of it. So I'm just gonna get the specific gravity back to where it needs to be, and I'll clean up the sand. But these guys are doing great. They're piggies. And here is the LPS and SPS Frag Tank, and this tank's doing better too. Lots of cool things going on in here. A couple of the corals browned out, but they're coloring back up. I'm slowly increasing the power on my lights. I had them down too far, but it was sort of as a precaution. And then I forgot about it. So then a lot of the corals browned out, and I'm like, oh, okay. You know, whoops. But I'm adjusting them up, and they're popping back, as you can see. See if I can get everybody in the back. There we go. Cool fox coral in the back there. So yeah, they're starting to color back up. Especially these SPS. I added, I don't know if you'll be able to see it with my lights off. Oh, there we go. I added this A160 here to supplement this A360 because of that shading issue I was talking about on the 75 gallon SPS. So it's sort of helping. Right now it's off, but I have it on from noon to 6, and it's helping with the shaded spots of these acropora, so they don't get, you know, that brown side to them. So all sides of them will be colored up, but it's also increasing the par, and I'm getting more color. As you can kind of see right there, I'm getting more color on my acros now, which is what I wanted to do anyway. Because acros, naturally, when they're in lower par, they turn green or sometimes brown. That's sort of like their base color, if you will. But if you get the right par and flow combination, they can get some awesome colors. That's where you start seeing the pinks and the yellows and stuff like that, is when you bump up your par and flow. You just gotta watch your parameters when you do that too. But as you can see, some of these are starting to perk up quite a bit, so that's good. Especially the Monty in the back there, that's Crazy T, and the Speech Bump's coming back. That got buried in the sand in the 75 gallon SPS tank, so it's finally growing back. And lots of 24K Leptocerus frags. Those will be available when I'm at the trade shows for Frenchy frags. But yeah, this tank's doing very well. And here's a Softy Frag Tank. Sometimes I put LPS in here, but I can't put SPS in here because I run a higher nitrate. But some cool mushrooms on there. Somehow these mushrooms here, these Yumas, aren't so happy right now, but that's okay, they'll perk up. Yumas are tough. And those are the other type, the Florida Recordias or something like that. Recordia Floridas or something. The other ones are Recordia Yumas. Look at all this GSP. Woo! That stuff's just growing like crazy. There's a Instagram person who is very popular on Instagram, and he got this GSP that's in his tank from me. And I gave some to my neighbor too, but I got it from Live Aquaria about 5 years ago, almost 6. And it's like the brightest GSP you've ever seen. It's almost yellow. That's how bright it is. And I got some little fox corals in here, getting better. They didn't like the other frag tanks, so I put them in here. And they're starting to perk up. This is sort of my timeout rack when zoas and stuff don't do so good. I put them over here out of the full intensity of the light. Then they heal back up, and I put them back on the main rack here. I got all my zoas and some other mushrooms. I gotta do some more fragging. I still got a lot of cool zones in here. I'd like to get into some other different ones, so I'll be offering some of these that are usually in my private collection. I have some extras, so I'll be offering those the trade shows coming up if you're in the Southeast Michigan area. Yeah, these are doing good. The fish probably think it's feeding time. I guess I should give them something and not tease them so much. And here is the 36-gallon Bowfront. The lights I have on these are the current R24 lights. I like the lights, I just don't like the app. The last app update basically disabled my Android phones from adjusting these lights. So I have to use my daughter's iPhone now if I want to change my light settings. So hopefully they'll fix that. I think Saltwater Aquarium bought them. Anyhow, this is a huge, I believe it's a green Nepthia. It's either Nepthia or Singularia. If you know, I'll try to get you a good close-up. If you know, let me know in the comments, but I think it's a Nepthia. I got this from my neighbor who he moved, but Jack, if you're watching, thank you. This is part of your coral. My neighbor Jack had a tank that was like 12 years old at the time. That was a couple of years ago, and he had this in it, and I got a piece of it. And now it's getting huge. But my tomato clown likes to hang out in it wherever he's at. Probably hiding. I just cleaned the glass. Things are doing pretty good in here. Other than the little, algae issue on the glass and that, but really when you look inside, sometimes it gets cyano and that, but the coral doing pretty good. Except for that one little utter chaos over there, I'll replace that. But not too bad in here. This Galaxia down here got eaten up by some shrimp I put in here. I had hydroids in here. I still have some. And I thought, hey, I'll try some candy cane shrimp. And I got the wrong ones. I got the ones that eat coral. Not the camel shrimp, but there's different kinds of candy cane ones that you got to watch out for. If I got the picture and I can find it, I'll post it right here. And it shows you all the different kinds. And I got one of the right kind and two of the wrong kind. I mean wrong as in, quotation marks, but they eat coral. And that's what they were doing. They were eating this Galaxia here. And then they were starting to bother this blasto here. So I'm like, nope, they got to go. So right now they're in the quarantine tank. And I think I got a home for them in somebody's sump who has Aptasia in it. So I think they'll do good in that sump. But everything's doing pretty good in here. I got a cool toadstool. Check that out. Thanks, Jay. There's the toadstool. It was doing kind of for a while in the frag tank, so I threw it in here, and it likes it a lot better because this water's a lot dirtier than my, dirtier as in more nitrates and phosphates than my frag tank. So that's why it likes it. There's also some A-cans that were I had big, awesome A-cans in here a while ago, and little pieces of them split off on the rocks, so they're growing back too. But I'm going to increase the flow in here. All I got is that return right there for flow and this little wave maker here. So obviously I need a little more flow, even though this is sort of a softy heavy tank. I'm going to add at least another wave maker or so, and that'll help with the algae too. But yep, this is a 36 gallon. This is my oldest tank. It's 5.5 years old. Oh, and why the heck am I holding an orange and throwing it in the air? Well, there's only one place you're going to find out. That's on Reef to Reef. Once you get there, check out Rockpool Reefers user group, and maybe you'll find out, well, I got an orange in my hand. So check it out. Go to Reef to Reef and check out Rockpool Reefers. Well, aren't you glad I made this video? No, I'm just kidding. I want to thank you all though for tuning in and watching all my videos. I really appreciate you guys sending me comments and asking me questions and stuff, because that's what I like. I like the engagement. I like to talk with other reefers. And if you're not a reefer, that's cool too. Feel free to ask as many questions as you want. I know sometimes I say things and I say certain things like LPS and SPS and stuff like that, and you might not quite understand it. Go ahead and ask me in the comments. What the heck is that? and I'll answer them. And I'll probably end up making a video for you too, just so I can sort of explain it to the people who aren't so familiar with reefing stuff. So with that, I'm Reefer Matt. Thank you for watching, and happy reefing.